Americans. Are we not still on cloud nine from these election results? I know I am still on cloud nine. Matter of fact, I am on all the clouds, like the clean sweep from the presidency to the Senate to the House. I am still turning up. Like, give it to me one time, give it to me two times, give it to me three times, Okay, y'all. Playtime over. We got work to do. So I'm sure you've heard by now that Mitch McConnell has stepped down, and on Wednesday, the Senate voted for a new Senate Majority Leader, and the winner is Republican John Thune out of South Dakota. Now, a little bit about John Thune. He is a native of South Dakota. He's married to Kimberly Thune, father of two girls, Brittany and Larissa. He ran for the House of Representatives in 1996, securing his seat in 1997, and served 3 terms. He then ran for Senate, losing in 2002, but recovered and secured his Senate seat in 2004, and has been serving as South Dakota's senator for the past 2 decades. Now, as we know, although he does consider himself Republican, we must fact check and make sure he truly holds our values, or if he is a Republican in name only, aka a rhino. Now, rumors have went forth that Thune is not quite fond of President Trump, especially since he did ask him to step out of the race in 2016 and let Mike Pence get their nomination. As well as when we was contesting the election results in 2020, he said that we should all just move on and that this was a waste of time and going nowhere, and that if this was occurring in the Senate, it would go down like a shot dog. Now, John. However, despite their differences, it has been reported that Thune and Trump later met up in Florida and came to a respectful understanding of each other. And Thune vowed to support Trump following his win on Wednesday, and he said he will not have any issue working alongside the president. So let's look at some of his positions and see how he votes and what he truly supports. He did have Trump's back by not voting to impeach him on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. He did vote in support of Trump's nomination to appoint Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court, as well as he voted against overturning Trump's 1332 waiver program that allowed states to get out from under the insurance regulations that were put in place under Obamacare. And he did vote against the Udall Amendment to the NDAA that tied the president's hands on effectively protecting the country against attacks from the Iran government. And he worked to pass Trump's TCJA, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So we can appreciate that. When it comes to protecting the most vulnerable and the innocent, the babies and children, Thune was in support of the Unborn Child Act, preventing abortions 20 weeks after fertilization, and supported the Born Alive Act that protected infants that survived botched abortions and would prosecute medical professionals who did not render aid to the full extent of the law. Also, he supported the No Taxpayers on Abortion or Abortion Insurance Act that protected taxpayers from funding abortions or paying into insurance that covered abortions, which many of them did fall under Obamacare. As well as he voted to overturn Biden's usage of the VA to carry out abortions. And Thune was in support of COSA and COPA, which are 2 acts passed in 2024 that protected children and teens online, securing their data and better supervise their online consumption. As far as his judgment on leadership, we have witnessed the poor leadership that is Mayorkas over the Department of Homeland Security, especially with the handling of the border, and here recently with FEMA funding when disaster struck. In February, Mayorkas was impeached, and Thune was in favor of that impeachment and voted no on dismissing it in April 2024. However, there have been times that Thune has raised some eyebrows and gone against the grain. He voted no on the Durbin-Kramer Amendment, Reforming Intelligence and Securing America Act, which would have stopped the FBI from overreaching and spying on Americans without base and requiring them to have warrants unless it pertained to criminal activity or bodily harm. He voted yes on both Consolidated Appropriations Act, which contributed to the rise in debt and higher interest rates falling on the taxpayers' shoulders. The act also included spending on LGBT programs for transition assistance, funds programs that assist with travel and lodging for abortion, promotes divisive diversity programs, Green New Deal projects, and gives financial support to programs and organizations that coddle illegal immigration. He voted yes on foreign aid supplemental appropriations that will continue sending funding to Ukraine and potentially fund both sides of the war in the Middle East, while also voting no against the Hawley Amendment initiated by Senator Hawley in Missouri that appoints an inspector general to oversee all taxpayers' money that has consistently been sent to Ukraine, very much like the inspector general we had over sending money to Afghanistan. This allows more transparency and expose any fraud or frivolous spending, especially when we have sent more than $100 billion there since 2022. And especially now when Blinken has come out saying that they are pushing more money to Ukraine by January 20th.
As we're working to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs to effectively defend itself, the United States continues to step up. We've obligated just recently and pushed out the door another $8 billion in security assistance for Ukraine. That was in September. Another almost $500 million just a few weeks ago. And President Biden is committed to making sure that every dollar we have at our disposal will be pushed out the door between now and January 20th.
So I am curious to why he would not want an inspector general to be overseeing these financial transactions. So I am 50-50 when it comes to Thune based on legislation he supports. He does seem to have conservative values. However, it doesn't seem that his spending is conservative, and his support contributes a lot to inflation and increases the national debt. As well as I'm not sure if he does enough research on where money goes, and that he doesn't seem to support abortion but votes on legislation that can fund programs that does. He doesn't seem to be in support of illegal immigration but votes to fund programs that protects them, as well as he supports loose legislation that does not secure our tax dollars from being diverted away from their intended purposes. I would not necessarily say that we need to keep our guards up completely around Thune, but I will say we definitely need to keep our eyes open, especially when it comes down to his spending habits and why he is so passionate about funding Ukraine. Also, making sure he keeps his promises to support Trump, especially as Trump continues to fill out his cabinet. If he does, we'll let him stay. If he doesn't, well, MAGA, we know what to do.